Welcome guys, it's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. We're here in Birmingham today with the one, the only Eddie Hearn. How you doing today, sir?
Danny, good to see you, mate. Long time, you good? Good.
So, and I've watched an interview where you like questions about yourself, so I'm going to ingratiate myself. So, how would you review how your year's been so far as a promoter this year for the Matchroom stable?
I think it's been an interesting year for boxing. Obviously, the inclusion of Riyadh season and a lot of money coming into the sport has been great for the company and great for British fighters. It has lent itself to a lot of those bigger names having big fights in Riyadh. But it's on a good time zone. So it's not like we're having to wait up till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. But there's also been the comment from the British fight fan of, hold on, we want some big fights in the UK. So, finishing with Catterall Prograis, which is a big success, Yafai against Edwards. I think moving forward, we've got to get the mix right of, do we want to see big names in decent fights, or do we want to see good names in great fights? Do you know what I mean? And I think this card tomorrow is a good example of good names in great fights. You look at the card from top to bottom, and for me, if the biggest names want to go and fight in Riyadh in the biggest fights, that's great, but we've got to get the product right to make sure that every fight is competitive and compelling. And I think we can do that in 2025. So the year's been good, it's been a big success as a company, and I think just the changing of the strategy moving forward and see what happens in 2025.
I really like that, because I was going to actually talk about this. Do you feel that the sport finally is getting there, where we're coming out of that O era and into the undisputed era? And how do you feel that the fans and the public are receiving the new era?
I think that my mindset has always been, I don't really care about the O. A lot of promoters don't want their fighter to lose the O. But that means you're not going to make competitive fights, because when you make competitive fights, someone's going to lose. And, I know we get stick and criticism when one of our fighters loses, but in doing so, they're chasing greatness, and financially they're setting themselves up for life. And that's always got to be the key for any fighter. Like, you've got to chase legacy, you've got to chase greatness, that's got to fuel you inside. But you've got to be smart from a business sense to try and secure yourself financially for when you leave the sport. And not many people do that. So for me, that's always kind of like the number one priority. But, it's getting the mix right. I don't care for the O's. I care for great fights. But there's a lot of fighters on this card tomorrow that are risking a lot, that will probably lose. But if they're in a great fight, you'll be back. You get more work, especially if you're moving tickets and you're popular and you're pushing the show. But it goes back to that level, and we get this a lot now. You look at fighters like Eddie Wood and Joe Caldina and Josh Warrington and Liam Smith and Josh Taylor, like big names, like standout names of the last few years, who, because of the way the purses are going up, if I headline one of them, the fight might not be that great. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to promote a fight that's not that great, even though I know because they're fighting, it'll do okay. I would rather know that I've got a product that when I sit down I go, it's going to be a fucking great fight. Do you know what I mean? And my mood is dictated by the card. Like, if I haven't got a very good card, I'll still do these. I'm actually asking for this money. I don't want to watch the show. I know it's going to be great. I'm not going to get much stick on social media and people saying this is shit, well, what's happened to British boxing, well, blah, 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 blah. And I do, that does get to me, because I'm a fight fan, so I've got a chance to deliver for you. And I think this card might be a sign of things moving forward, where hopefully come 11 o'clock tomorrow night, everyone goes, that was great. That's what makes me happy. People, it was a great show, well done. You know what I mean? Then you get in the car and worse than getting in the car and going for it. That was shit. British boxing's dead. Hearn sorted it out. Fucking hell, it's like, so yeah, that's the thing. I'm understanding what we need to do moving forward.
You've had a few people like detractors like Lyndon before talking about you don't know the market in America. There wasn't really a market in Birmingham, but it seems that I saw that you've put out more tickets for release. So how's it been building up the sort of fan base and ticket sales out in Birmingham in the Midlands? Because it's been a growing era.
It's always a slow burner. Like when we first came to Birmingham, I think it's our third or fourth show in about 18 months. When we first come, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, could be 7 on Saturday. So it's working. The one thing that gives you a lot of hope is when you go to a city and boxing's important to people, like when the fighters are shifting a lot of tickets, that's a good sign, and that's always been the case in Birmingham. But it's only the fighters that have been shifting it. Now it's starting to grow a little bit. The box office sales are good because it's a compelling fight as well. So this is a big night for us in Birmingham, and I think that if you believe in what you're doing, you just got to stay consistent with it. Like you talk about Leonard Ellaby or Oscar or like whoever it is, they can't stand me. And it's very easy just to pack it in and go, you're fighting the system. And that's the same with going to Birmingham, where you might just go, it's just not working. So let's try somewhere else. And that's the problem in life, where people aren't prepared to go through the short-term goals to get to the medium and long-term goals. And we've done the short-term goals now, and we're over it. And hopefully we can continue to grow.
Also, a fight that's gone under the radar on this card is Callum Smith.
Yeah.
How did you manage to get him on the card? And then also, do you think it's quite humbling that he was top of the bill last time out and he's basically ribbon cutting on this time?
I said to him, I wanted him on TV because he's Callum Smith. Do you know what I mean? But that goes back to, it's not a very good fight. Yeah? I'm not telling you it's a fight.
He's a puncher though.
Yeah, but it's a fight coming off an after better defeat where he needs to get in a ring, blow off some cobwebs, and hopefully fight a Buatsi or a Yarde or whoever that is moving forward. And I said to, when we went through the running order, I was like, you got to put Callum on the TV. And he's like, he wants to go first. And it's like, oh really? He said, yeah, because he knows it's not a great fight. He's not bothered about the crowd. He just needs to go in there, work on a few things, blow the cobwebs away, and that's it, go home. So I'm like, all right. So he's actually opening the show at 4 o'clock, 4:30 or something like that. So yeah, I think Callum is a very humble kid anyway. So, hopefully a good win, no damaged hands, no nothing, and maybe even a fight in February against a Buatsi.
Okay, and because obviously I know you got time, so yeah, last one from me. When can we expect to see Craig Richards out next?
I mean, he was in camp with Beterbiev sparring for him for the Bivol fight. So I think Craig now is at the stage in his career. Had a good payday last time, decent payday against Buatsi, Bivol. He's done well for himself in the sport. Still a lot to give, but really needs those big fights. For me, Craig Richards against Lyndon Arthur. I think that's the fight. Or Liam Cameron. Or Ben Whittaker. Needs that big domestic fight, and then hopefully he can get another shot at the world title.
Love that. Thank you for your time. And there you have it. It's Danny Glover for Fight Fan TV Live with Eddie Hearn. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.